Good evening. I'm Amadin Ogbewe. Now, the off-cycle elections were rounded up a couple of days ago, but it still remains on the front burner on a lot of issues and making the rounds in terms of topics of discussion. We are still hearing from various stakeholders and various politicians, parties, and interest in that election, or those elections, pardon me. Tonight, we'll be taking a look at some reaction or a reaction from Kogi State, from one of the parties involved, what they saw about that election and what they hope can be done better in future cycles. Tonight, my guest is Abubakar Isah Atiku. He is the spokesperson for the Accord Gubernatorial Candidate for the 2023 governorship election in Kogi State. He joins me now to do some justice to the issue of the election and share his views and hopes and aspirations about the process and the way forward for Kogi people. All right, Mr. Abubakar Isah, welcome to Talk Talk.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you. I know it's been probably or possibly been a stressful one with the election and all, but the elections are over and a winner has emerged. Before we delve into details, I'd like to get your general thoughts. How did you see the process? How do you rate it?
Let me start by commending the security agencies, most especially the military. The chief of defense staff, the chief of army staff, they deserve commendation because they have reduced the number of lives that ordinarily would have been lost as a result of the elections. The military were everywhere and they did a professional job. During the last Saturday election, a local government chairman of APC was caught with arms and large sums of money. The military refused to take bribe. They arrested and handed him over. But as you know, that will be the end. Nothing will happen. That is the situation we have found ourselves. Be that as it may, the selection rather, not election, even the selection was so fraudulent that I think I want to suggest very strongly to the National Assembly and to elders of this country in order to save lives that will be lost during selection, because since the election no longer hold in the country again, the selection should be done in a way that we have kingmakers, just like it is done, where before a traditional ruler is appointed. Let's just have kingmakers who will just select from among those who intend to lead. Then they choose whoever, since they don't allow people to vote. Before the election, results were available. Same results was announced by INEC. The most irresponsible man I know as at this moment is the INEC National Chairman. I went to Amadin Ogbewe University area, and the degree that was awarded to me was based on character and learning. I don't think that man is a shame to professors. If you call that one a professor, then I will not allow, even when I become a professor, I will not use that title. Because that man is not only a disgrace to professors, but to entire humanity. And the security...
We want to stay clear of any character.
No.
Attacks.
Tell me the euphemism that I will use to qualify such a shameless man as Mahmoud Yakubu.
Again, we'll stay away from the rhetoric. Let's first talk about why it is, or why you see it as a selection. Start to,
the selection, I started telling you because the results were available. If you have already selected Ododo to be the governor, then why waste resources? You collected about 18 billion, if I'm not mistaken, to conduct 3 states election. When you have selected those that will become governors, INEC chairman, you have already selected, then why waste people's time and resources? Why allow people to lose their lives? Since you know there's not going to be election. Why would you do that? You should have simply find a way to let people know that there was not going to be election. The results were available. Let me tell you, statistically and historically, any right-thinking person, it can be proven that the over 100 votes from Adavi and Okene area, I think one of the local government over 100,000 votes. The most populated local government in Kogi State is Dikina local government. The number of PVCs collected is over 180,000 in Dikina local government. Not even Dikina local government can record total votes of 100,000, because usually, historically, we know in this country that if 100 people collect PVC, it is almost impossible for 50 or 60 people to come out to vote. Historically, it has been like that in this country. The state where people come out to cast their votes usually is like states like Kano. Even at that, they cannot record 60% turnout. Now, you are telling us about 80 to 90% of people came out to vote in your local government, and then all of them voted for APC. It's not that voting for APC is the problem, but usually you can never, and statistically, it has never happened like that. So you have same thing. He did same thing in 2019, same thing in 2023. What these leaders are telling us now is that you are promoting violence in the country. Once you want to contest election, you get thugs, and then you align yourself with criminals, then so that you can write your result, and then they go on. Let no fool tell us that we should go to court. Go to which court? Is it this corrupt judiciary are going there? To get what? Well, let me tell you, nobody has ever defeated Yahya Bello in any court in this country.
But his party has been defeated in Kogi.
Nobody, let me tell you, that's what I want to explain to you. Nobody has ever defeated Yahya Bello in Nigerian court, because the judiciary is so corrupt, is the most corrupt institution in this country. Then followed by Nigerian police. The judiciary is so corrupt that what you need is a huge amount of money. Let me tell you, Natasha defeated his candidate because Natasha's husband is a multi-millionaire in all currencies of the world. It is because of that. Tell me, if not because of Natasha's husband and because of the kind of money he has, let me tell you, even the victory given to Natasha, let me tell you that the victory is as a result of what she has, because of what she has, not because she was duly elected. Of course, Natasha was duly elected. For you to get justice in this country, not to get, you can never get justice. For you to buy justice, you must be very wealthy. So Natasha has a lot of money to throw around to the judiciary. So she got her what is duly has.
Do you have any receipts from Natasha or whoever to any?
Nobody will tell you this. These corrupt judges. Let me tell you how you know all of this.
We can't conclude.
It's not that. What do you need to conclude now? It's just like you now telling me that I should prove that I'm putting on white clothes. Let me tell you. The corrupt Mahmoud Yakubu, I hate to call that name, because what kind of, I don't know, that man is so irresponsible that Nigeria does not, if Nigeria can never move forward if you have people like that. Tell me the euphemism I use for an irresponsible man and a criminal. Well, tell me the euphemism, tell me now, I don't know, because an irresponsible man and a criminal, tell me the euphemism I should use.
Well, he has not been convicted in any
convicted, which conviction? You cannot convict anybody in this country. So let me tell you, you can't convict anybody in this country who is so wealthy, who is so corrupt like Mahmoud, with a lot of money. You can't convict him in Nigeria. This judiciary is so corrupt. Let me tell you, they can as well send me to prison for what I care. You have robbed us of everything. You ask, go to which court?
All right, wait, Mr. Isah, let's stick to the things that happened first of all. Then we can begin to extrapolate. But again, these are allegations. There's no.
These are no allegations. Results were written. It was posted. It was posted.
But were you in
Let me tell you.
I just want to know so that we can start from what you witnessed and observed in your own area.
In my area, the election was so peaceful, and we envisaged that in the local government was peaceful, and in all the local government, with the exception of the local governments which Yahya Bello wrote the result. His senatorial, see, they are the least populated in the state. That is why this thing is so painful. Yahya Bello can never, and nobody from that axis can ever win election without aligning with us, we the Igalas. We are the majority. Even with our numerical strength, we cannot come with 100,000 votes in all of the local governments. Where we have, in most of our local governments, we usually have over 100,000 PVCs collected in the local government. But usually, not all people will come out. You have a transparent election in Kogi East, where I come from, where we have about 10 local governments. Then the SDP candidate won in almost all of these local governments with a margin that is not only can be scientifically proven and statistically proven. But you are coming with a margin from your place where you come from, Okene local government, Adabi local government. That was the same result. Let me tell you, these people, they are so shameless that you have to tell them to their face who they are. These are shameless leaders we have in this country. The country belongs to all of us. Let no shameless leader. I am not afraid of any shameless leader. You see, for you to be to give respect to people, somebody has to earn respect. You have come out have very irresponsible leaders like this, and then you expect me to say what? You think I can be afraid of these criminals?
Mr. Isah, let's talk about the Igalas, as you mentioned. Is it not also, or can't someone make the argument that there is also something suspicious going there? One candidate seemed to sweep the results. I believe only one local government was won by the APC. The PDP was nowhere to be found. And the SDP swept it all. Would you also allege...
my principal is an Igala man. My principal is an Igala man. Yes. A decision was almost taken that because of the popularity of SDP as a party in Kogi East, because most of the people in Kogi East left APC because of the maladministration and the cruelty of Yahabilo for other political parties. And then they now say, okay, for us, not because Murtala Yakubu Ajaka is the best, but because as at this moment, among the villagers, the party is popular because we had a strong politician like the like of Dr. Stephen Ashema, who was then in SDP. So the party is popular among the elderly and the villagers. So now, so it was almost resolved collectively by the Igalas that, okay, let us support this so that at least to get the power first from Yahabilo and his stooge. Because it's Yahabilo is contesting for the third term. The guy is an errand boy who has nothing and knows nothing, cannot even speak into the media. So now, because of Yahabilo's stooge, I say, okay, let's align. That's why you can see the voting pattern. You don't have overvoting. But here you have overvoting.
So was Accord for SDP?
Accord was not for SDP officially.
Okay.
But it was somehow resolved for Admiral Usman Jibril, who is more elderly and more responsible, that he should sacrifice for the interest of the Igala people. So that was why almost all the votes went for SDP. So it was done in a very strategic way so as to be able to defeat APC with a landslide victory. So that was why you see SDP clearing in most of the Kogi East and other places like Lokoja, Koto before the results were changed. But the most conspicuous one is the two local governments, where the local government where Yahabilo comes from and the neighboring local government, where because these two local governments has over about 100,000 PVCs collected by the people. So he now used these local governments and write the result. The results were available before the commencement of election. A petition was written to INEC. INEC said they were going to look into it. They even said that there is going to be election next week. Now they now accepted the same results and then declare a winner. And these criminals are asking people to go to which court? A court that is owned by Yahabilo. Nobody, I challenge you, nobody can defeat Yahabilo in any Nigerian court. Because Kogi State is an oil-producing state. He doesn't pay salary. He doesn't do. He does nothing in the state. So he has enough money. He's so corrupt that he can give half of the entire allocation to the
well, Mr. Isah, that is your opinion, and again, these are allegations. But
these are allegations that you come out.
Hold on.
I always challenge these people to say, why don't you call this person to come to come with his proof?
All right, Mr. Isah, let's talk about the alliance. Just before you came, I did speak to someone else from the APC who said the process was completely free and fair, and he gave a reasoning for what you say about those numbers, and I've heard it from multiple sources. I want to hear your response to that explanation. That the reason for those numbers that we're seeing in regions where hitherto were getting about 30,000 votes, even in the presidential election, but now we're getting over 100,000, is that that this election cycle was ethnicized, so to speak. That people, if there is an accusation, well, I won't be the one to do the work for them, but there are accusations that the entire process became ethnicized, and so this is what spurred these other local governments to begin bringing in all their people from all over the country to come back and vote. Did you see any of that? We've had words about coastal buses coming in, bringing all the people who were not around because they wanted to prove a point that if you are going to stand for, your ethnicity, we are here to stand for ours. Did you see any of this?
Yes, because Bello has divided the state on ethnic line. Ever since he became governor, most of the important positions have been given to people from his local government, not even for other local governments in the senatorial zone. He has divided the state on ethnic lines, so the election became ethnic battle. And the most populated, you see, the APC person who says so is dumb. If he's not dumb, he should have known that Igala, who are more populated, since it has turned to ethnic battle, ordinarily will win the election. Now, as dumb as they are, they write results that they can never prove. The Kina local government has over 180,000 registered voters with PVCs collected. Okene does not have up to 150. So now, if not because we, the Igalas, are responsible and are not criminals, we would have written, if we had written 170,000, where we have over 180,000 PVCs collected, then it is justifiable. Since they have less than 150,000 and they have written over 100,000, it would have been justifiable. We would have still won the elections. But because you have responsible people from the Igala extraction, we say no. The pride and joy of every success is usually sweeter and greater if it is through an honest effort. So we made conscious effort. We mobilized people from Kano, we mobilized people from Port Harcourt. In all, the Kina that has over 180,000, we got less than, the total votes there is less than 70,000. They weren't given by all, because usually people don't turn out like that. It is almost impossible for you to get 60% voter turnout. It's almost impossible. So now, because our own is based on sincerity, we mobilize people. And then if you see the candidate of SDP, I think got less than 50,000 or so, about 50,000 or thereabout. I can't remember the correct figure again, because it was through voting. But since they wrote figures, and this thing, no, today they are happy. The Mahmoud Jegas of this world are happy, because definitely he must have been bribed. If we have responsible security agencies in this country, especially the DSS, they should investigate his account. And they will find out that man must be a multi-billionaire, because he will never do this thing for free. He must have collected money. If you have responsible security agencies in Nigeria, what they will do by now is to begin to investigate his account. And that's how you get to the root of all of these things. But you have people who are, the security agencies are more corrupt than the criminals in the prisons. That is the situation of the country. And now, what they are teaching the younger generation is that crime pays and sincerity does not pay. So now, at the end of the day, we will all be in for it. We don't care. We don't care. These shameless people, we can face them at any time. They can go to do anything in their courts. They can say anything in their courts. We don't care. Whatever, we will continue to remain very sincere and be very patriotic to this country. But we will continue to fight these criminals. The likes of Yaya Bello, the likes of Mahmoud Jega, and some of the criminals in the security agencies. We are courageous. We are not cowards like them. It's only a coward that will bring down his own country because of personal gain. How do you want to set this country on fire? We will not help you to do that. We will remain steadfast. We will continue to fight on the side of justice, so that the right thing is done, so that the likes of Mahmoud Jega will not continue to have their ways in this country.
Right. Let me just cut in once again and point out that, again, these are allegations, sir, and let's us, desist from this and speak on the ones that were sure of. Like when you spoke about results that were already written, INEC acknowledged it and they said they would, they would investigate it. So I wonder, are you, your party, clearly you're in opposition, the SDP and so on, the PDP, are you willing to put the pressure needed to see the end of that? Because we know about the allegations, which, as at the moment, they can't be categorically proven. But this issue, is your party and others, your candidate, willing to go the extra mile to ensure that you see the end of this, INEC's readiness to investigate? I say this because a lot of things happen, and we see that the opposition parties tend to be quiet or do not put as much effort. I'll give an instance. It was said that some of the persons that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, recommended for INEC were said to have had ties with the president, the Senate president, with the APC, so to speak. But when they got to the National Assembly, there was no backlash. We didn't see the SDP, we didn't see the PDP, we didn't see Labour Party come up and say, you know what, we are not going to stand for these persons to be confirmed because we suspect they have ties. You know, it's all quiet. What we see is CSOs, private organizations, NGOs, they are the ones making noise saying that, well, this person, we are not so sure, can this be looked into? So that's the question here now. Is opposition party ready to do something to ensure that some of these things, there's a reasonable conclusion to it? Take, for instance, the SDP candidate has already said he won't even go to courts. You know, so what's the way forward? How do the opposition fight?
It's not going to court is because the court is not only corrupt, it's very biased. There can never be justice in Nigerian court. You only have maybe few judges, which, to the best of my knowledge, if you put the entire judges in Nigeria, it's difficult to fight 10 who are honest.
Well, that remains to be determined, but what's the way forward?
So that is why, if you do not have confidence in the judiciary, what is the way forward? Of course, you only leave these things, then anarchy is looming.
No, I mean, we can't go to that region yet. Why I mentioned the CSOs is that even the Electoral Act that we see today, the final version we see, it happened because the CSOs kept applying pressure. They would do protests at the National Assembly. They would come for media interviews, always harping on the issues. So I'm wondering, how do opposition parties even consider this, or is it just they believe it's a lost cause and they don't have any plans?
You see, it is a very difficult situation in Nigeria in the sense that the people in charge of the political affairs are mostly the corrupt persons in this country. So now, for you to emerge victorious and become a member of House of Rep or a senator, you require a lot of resources, which the honest men and women in this country do not have such resources. So it is usually left, even those who are in opposition and in the National Assembly, majority of them are so corrupt because it requires a lot of resources, which some of these people, you go into drug, go into some crime to make some money to come. It is only when they were not accommodated in the ruling party that they came to the opposition party. So that's why when they get to the National Assembly, you see them, they are quiet. They are as irresponsible as the opposition, the ruling party members of the National Assembly. So there's actually no difference. So you only have very few.
So if your candidate won, is that what we can expect? That after victory, they change colors?
No, what is there is that I don't support anybody who is not morally high up there. You must have some qualities before I support you. And that's why I don't, let me tell you, if I want to be in the government of Yahya Bello will be happy for me to be there. Yes, if he says not so, and then I will prove to them that they want me. I have refused to join them because I cannot stoop so low and be with those who do not see murder as anything, who do not see stealing as anything, who cannot pay salaries. My conscience will not allow that. If not, I would have become a multi-millionaire. Yahya Bello needs me. He knows that because he knows I'm courageous. I'm not like these ordinary criminals, ordinary boys and girls who are around him. I remain firm. I can say this to his face. He knows that, and he knows why I'm saying so. Yahya Bello knows. Yahya Bello knows. Let me tell you, the chief of staff to the governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, called me and pleaded with me. So these things are always happening. They want me to be there, but I cannot. My conscience will not allow that. If not, I would be a multi-millionaire because the government money is meant to be shared for people like us who are courageous to defend them. I can't defend lies. I prefer to remain poor with a clean conscience than to be with the criminals like Yahya Bello.
Again, we cannot call the governor a criminal.
The governor should take me to court. Let me prove that he's a criminal. Well, the governor should take me to court. It is not, Kaftan TV is not responsible for this statement I'm making.
Thank you so much.
I am making this statement, and I am not a lunatic. I don't take any hard drug. I I am making this statement. I challenge Governor Yahya to take me to court. Right. It is not a criminal.
Just for the sake of this program to continue, we'll have to desist from that. Again, these are your opinions and the allegations. Kaftan TV bears no responsibility for that. But let's start to speak about the political landscape now. We're hearing, that there was a marriage, quote unquote, between the Okuns and the Ibiras. I don't know if I got that correctly. And that is how Mr. Ododo emerged as the governor. Now, is there any worry for the Igalas? Because I think the message was very clear. The Igalas had a candidate, and they went all out for him. So, is there any worry here about going forward, the political landscape, perhaps some level of fear of exclusion? We've seen it in the past where presidents say, the percentage that voted for him, and so on and so forth. The governor-elect has been gracious to say that he's calling on everyone. But I want to know, from your point of view, as someone from that region, is there any worry?
Calling on, did you emerge? Who voted for you? Let me tell you, these people are shameless. They can say anything. There was no marriage. If there was any marriage, the people of Kogi West, the Okun, they wanted this governorship, and they presented two of their illustrious sons, Senator Dino Melaye and Honorable Abejide. The two of them got votes there, but they were manipulated out. If there was marriage, why didn't they win? Why didn't the APC candidate win? Why was he not selected? Because he never won an election, and there was never any election. During the selection process, why did they have to go to Okene and Adavi to write the figures? They should have been selected in these places, because there was nothing like any marriage between the Okuns and the Igiras. And the Okuns will always...
They had victories there.
Victory where? What is the margin? The entire West, the votes recorded by APC in the entire West is not up to 150,000, where you have 7 local governments. And in about 2 local governments, he had about 200,000 votes. In about 2 local governments. 7 local governments, he could, if you say there was a marriage, he could not record, not even up to 100,000. But in just 1 local government, he had over 100,000. The entire 7 local governments, I don't think he has up to, I don't think it's more than 100,000, the entire 7 local governments. But in just 1 local government, he had, they wrote for themselves about 100,000 votes. There was no marriage. They are only looking for lies so as to justify the crime they have perpetrated against the people of Kogi State. That is why they are saying all of these lies. The people of the West will always prefer, not because Dino and Abejide are from the West, but because whatever you will use to compare Dino and Ododo, or Abejide and Ododo, they are far, far ahead of Ododo. Ododo was never known in the Kogi politics. As we speak, Abejide is a second-term member of House of Reps. Dino Melaye was elected twice to the Senate and about twice to the House of Reps. So now, there's no way you can compare any one of them with Ododo, who is not known.
But this is not the first time that a governorship candidate, seemingly hitherto unknown, has emerged, even in Edo State.
Not like that. No. It's not when you are unknown. When you are unknown and then you have quality. Tell me any person who was unknown before that emerged that you can compare with Ododo.
All right, let's not head too far into this, but let's talk in the issue of providing proof. To an extent, I believe we can say that for a candidate to get over 200,000 votes...
See, you will be insulting us if you say a candidate to get it. Let me tell you.
I'm talking about the SDP candidate now. He got over 200,000 votes.
Yes.
So definitely there must be some level of structure to get those votes.
No.
So the question now is, was there any work put into gathering evidence? I say this because I know you've expressed lack of faith in the process.
And lack of faith in the judiciary.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But in this same country, in fact, the APC we speak of now, they were in opposition and they came into power.
They came into power, let me tell you. I was part of them. I led the delegation from Kogi State to Zamfara State during the convention.
We have multiple governors who came into power through, in fact, the reason we're having off-cycle elections, particularly in Imo and Bayelsa, they came in through the courts. This has happened. So the question is, was there any work put into gathering enough evidence to even mount a case at least?
let me tell you, to win in any court in Nigeria, as of today, you need so much resources to be able to give, to throw away.
Well, resources in the sense that you need
money to bribe, not you need to bribe the judges.
There's no proof of that.
You see, if we continue to shy away from this truth, Nigeria can never be great. Nigeria will never be great. I can swear with my life that this country, after the 4-year tenure of Tinubu, will still be where we are. Because people are not ready to say the truth. You need money to bribe the judges to win your case in the court. This election, see,
you need facts for the truth.
You see,
verifiable facts.
Verifiable facts in the sense that, okay, that is why.
Why don't you do the work?
Which work will you do?
Bringing that proof.
You don't need the proof. The proof are not. Let me tell you. What proof do you need? During the last, the Supreme Court judgment, which has now allowed for somebody without certificate to even continue to win election and you remain in office. So now, which proof do you need? All the proofs were presented. It's either they will refuse to accept it or they give one technical reason. Let me tell you, you can never prove. You can never prove in Nigerian court. Atiku, my namesake, went to America. He got judgment. The university was forced to release the documents. If it were to be Nigeria, no Nigerian university will release the document. Because we live in a lawless country where we need to speak truth to power so that things can change.
Fair enough, fair enough. But again, there's a version of speaking truth to power that involves asking for the right things to be done without making outright assertions on anybody's character or what they've done. They don't
have the character. Which character do they have? They don't have any character. It's like shameless people without character.
I just want to end on this note now. Mr. Isah, what's next for you, for people who feel aggrieved about this matter? Since you've said you're not going to court, what's next?
What is next is to continue to pray so that God will deal with them.
All right, we've run out of time. We've run out of time.
That is the next thing.
We've run out of time. Thank you, Mr. Isah, for coming. It's good to hear, about people's grievances, and hopefully we'll see how all of this can be done and our system better sanitized. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.